The fallout from Juventus versus Villarreal, a deeper look at Paulo Dybala's injuries, the investigations by the federal prosecutor on the budgets concluded, Juventus looking to make an official bid for Paul Pogba later in the summer mercato, and should Juventus look to sign a mezzala or regista later in the summer mercato? Stay tuned! So just look at Paulo Dybala's latest injuries recently and over the past few seasons, considering his most recent injury against Torino, which he picked up a thigh injury anyway back in mid-March. But just getting into his past injuries, Paulo Dybala has suffered many injuries over the last few seasons. He has been in Juventus and most recently starting in 2019-2020 with the particular thigh problems, which is an ongoing issue for Dybala in his latter career at Juventus at the moment. He's also had muscle fatigue, medial collateral ligament injuries, muscular problems, muscular fatigue, and various other muscular problems, which has prevented him from being consistent throughout the seasons for the last few seasons at Juventus. Unfortunately, Dybala missed out on a crucial game this morning against Villarreal, which we obviously missed him in indeed. And it's just a shame to see him injured once again, but hopefully he can come back stronger and better, and we just hope and pray that these injuries do not persist for the future. The investigations by the federal prosecutor on the budgets was concluded, and it is all done and all finished. The federal prosecutor stated that it should be noted that the notified deed concerning certain transfers completed in the years 2019, 2020 and 2021 does not constitute an exercise of disciplinary action by the federal prosecutor. This means that Juventus isn't linked to any disciplinary action by the federal prosecutor, and it is finalized, concluded, and we can move on from this. The ever-reliable Romeo Agresti recently reported that Juventus are currently evaluating whether to go for another regista for this summer or go for mezzala. That is a creative box-to-box midfielder. But should Juventus really go for a regista this summer? Well, just going by the most recent midfielder signings, Locatelli has been mostly deployed as a lone defensive midfielder, which doesn't suit his style of play at all. And obviously his best moments have come when he has played alongside Artur in the base, which allowed him to have a better control of the game and show his creativity that Juve were looking for when they brought him. Zakaria is more of a defensive midfielder who can allow Locatelli to excel in the midfielder area. But we have already seen that Zakaria has enough technical abilities to play deep. Having him play as a 6 will give Locatelli the required freedom to act as the creative, deep-lying playmaker we all know him to be. And if you saw the Euros not just last year, you would have seen that Locatelli, he scored numerous goals when he pushed up the field, and he was playing in that role where he linked up with the other midfielders and created those 1-2 tiki-taka passing, and he would score some very nice, silky smooth goals for Italia. So all in all, Juventus have to address their over-reliance on Paulo Dybala as the only creative outlet in the team. An elite mezzala could be the last puzzle piece of Juventus' midfielder, which has been the biggest problem at Juventus. A report out of Italy is suggesting that Juventus are set to make their first official offer to Paul Pogba later in the summer mercato. It appears that the Manchester United midfielder could return to Juventus for a free transfer when his contract runs out in June. A report a couple of weeks ago from Paolo Nonmolo suggested that a few weeks ago, Juventus contacted the entourage of Paul Pogba to make their first official offer of 3 years with an option for fourth at a salary of around 7.5 million euros per season, with 2.5 million euros in bonuses based on appearances and, of course, his personal performance. Now, this would be absolutely huge if Juventus do pull this off later in June. Obviously, there are other clubs who are interested, most notably PSG, Real Madrid, obviously are chasing the Frenchman, but we will have to wait and see until we get closer to the summer mercato later in June. The fallout from Villarreal versus Juventus, And what an interesting game it was. What a riveting start it was. Unfortunately, it did end in a draw. But yes, it was a riveting start with Dusan Vlahovic scoring an incredible first 36 seconds into the game goal. And what a fantastic goal it was. The ball from Danilo was an absolute riveting ball into the path of Dusan Vlahovic, and it came onto his right foot, didn't even have to look, boom, into the bottom left corner, hits the post and straight into the net. Perfect goal from Vlahovic and a great start. Unfortunately, it was in the 66th minute where Danny Parejo levelled against our beloved Juventus. 1-1 it was, and unfortunately this led into the latter stages of the second half where Juventus wasn't able to capitalise and put Juventus up 2-1, 3-1 and put more goals in the back of the net. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Considering the statistics, Villarreal had more possession than our beloved Juventus, and unfortunately we only had 2 shots on target and 4 shots off target. So considering the 1 goal by Vlahovic, there was really only 1 other shot during the whole entire game where Juventus made a shot on target. So yes, now we have to wait 3 weeks. Yes, that's right, 3 weeks until Juventus and Villarreal go head-to-head back at it again. The second leg in Torino, and we will see who comes out on top. Let's hope our beloved Bianconeri can rise up to the occasion and get into the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Other than that, make sure to like and subscribe to Max Statman, and let us know in the comments below what you thought of today's video and everything that was included. Finoallafine and the Forza JUVE!